I feel like Nintendo is the most unpredictable, predictable gaming company out there. It's predictable that they would announce a Nintendo Direct in the month of June, a day or two away from the actual day. We know that they do this, yet we're always so surprised that they do it. When there was rumors last week flirting around saying that they're gonna announce a Nintendo Direct for this week, everyone was kind of like, yeah, maybe. But there's always this kind of lingering doubt that Nintendo's going to do something weird, they're going to do something crazy, and they're not going to do one for the month of June. Hey, they're doing one for the month of June. So, as of the time recording, June 20th, I'm just going to be talking about what I expect to see on the Nintendo Direct happening tomorrow, Wednesday, June 21st. It's going to be around 7 a.m. Pacific time. So yeah, specifically with like Nintendo Directs, I don't like to make predictions or like expectation type videos just because I feel like Nintendo is so like off the wall. I feel like there's always something that you can expect or predict, but then most of it is very much like nothing that anyone said was going to ever happen. Like Metroid Prime Remaster, I think everyone kind of like dropped the ball on Metroid Prime. It was like years of speculation, and then when everyone finally gave up on it, boom, that's when Nintendo drops it. It's like those things that Nintendo likes to do. I think just to keep us on our toes or whatever the hell they like to do. But I feel like this is slightly different than most Nintendo Direct times, just because I feel like after Tears of the Kingdom, after Pikmin, we don't really have anything that we know that's concrete that's being worked on. A lot of it's just speculation and rumors as it is. So I don't know. It's pretty safe to just try to guess what we're gonna expect. So I'm gonna do my best to say what I think we're gonna be seeing, what I hope to be seeing, etc. If you like this type of video, do me a favor and like this video. Please consider subscribing as it does help me out tons. With that, let's get into this video. All right. Obviously, we're gonna see Pikmin 4. I feel like that's just expected. You know, that's their next big game. You know, big quote unquote, depending on who you are. But yeah, Pikmin 4, they're definitely have to do some kind of deep dive. Let us know what to expect. A little bit more about what makes this different. I know last time they showed us the dog, and I know for Pikmin fans, that's like, you know, groundbreaking. That's like changing the meta. But for us who don't really play Pikmin, that doesn't really do anything, minus showing me a cute looking dog. But yeah, so for me who doesn't really play Pikmin, they haven't sold me on Pikmin 4. I think I like the art style and everything looks cool, and I like strategy type games, but again, there's nothing about this that really screams I must get it. Tears of the Kingdom. I feel like it wouldn't be out of the question to get some kind of DLC announcement. Maybe just like hinting at like some kind of mysterious new map, or maybe there's like another dimension you can go to. I mean, we already went to the sky, we already went to the ground. Like, where else can we really go? And I feel like if they want to keep that momentum going, they kind of just announce that they're working on something for Tears of the Kingdom DLC. I don't think it'd be too out of the question. On the same topic of DLC, Mario Kart 8 Booster Pack. I think it's now time to get the second to last actual booster course pack. New maps, new characters. I want them to kind of go off the wall with this one. I feel like we're rounding the end of the booster course pack. And early on, it was very like vanilla, very like standard, nothing too crazy. And I think after each course kind of released, they kept getting a little bit more bonkers, a little bit more off the wall. Now they're adding characters. I feel like if they just keep this up, then I think they're gonna have a really fun, complete like booster course pack that like will stand on its own as its own separate game. So I'm pretty excited for them to do something pretty wacky or zany with stuff like that. And then to keep the DLC conversation going, there's Splatoon 3. Splatoon 3 had that big side order like DLC announcement earlier, and it looked very interesting. It looked really cool. We know nothing about it really, except that it looked artistically really cool, and it looks very very different than what we're used to seeing Splatoon. It had like no color, and everything was like very like in order. I guess that's what the side order thing comes from. Like everything just like more organized instead of chaotic, like we're used to Splatoon being. So again, that looks really interesting. I do want to hear more about it. As someone who does like to play Splatoon 3, I would like to, you know, maybe something else to keep playing within Splatoon 3 besides just the multiplayer. And plus the Octo expansion was like a really good DLC for Splatoon 2. So as long as you can keep that same kind of energy, that same kind of level of DLC, we should be in for a good DLC. I remember like a year and a half ago, I was hearing rumors about like a new Fire Emblem game that was being in development with a main protagonist with blue and red hair and all this stuff. And alongside it, they were also working on a remake for an older like Fire Emblem game. We saw Fire Emblem Engage come out, And I think when I saw that, it made me believe that, yeah, we're going to get a remake of an older Fire Emblem game. Alongside this rumor is more recently we're hearing a rumor of a Super Nintendo era game coming back in a remake fashion. So I feel like connecting the dots, I know a lot of people are thinking it's Super Mario RPG. Some people are saying Chrono Trigger. I honestly don't think Square Enix wants anything to do with remaking games for Nintendo Switch specifically. So I feel like Super Mario RPG would be out of the question. And then I don't think Chrono Trigger would be a game. It would definitely be multiplat, and it'd definitely be a game where Square Enix would drop more with more pizzazz, more flair, more fanfare. So I don't think that those two games are really the Super Nintendo game being dropped in this direct. I think the Super Nintendo game being remade is Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War. This is a game that only released in Japan when it released, and it never really came to stateside. So I think this would be a really cool way to keep Fire Emblem going, to keep the momentum pushing. Fire Emblem is a IP that Nintendo put a lot of stock in recently. And also, this Friday, Fire Emblem Blazing Blades, the one on Game Boy Advance, is going to be dropping to the NSO. So I think timing-wise, they have Fire Emblem already on the mind. They get people talking about it more. Again, I think now of any time would be the time to drop a remake of Genealogy of the Holy War for the Nintendo Switch. Another rumor being floated around is whether or not Nintendo will drop a new Mario game. And I feel like now is a good time to drop a new 2D Mario game. I think we're coming to the end of the Nintendo Switch life. I think it would be a bad time to drop a 3D Mario game unless they plan on extending this Nintendo Switch for a really long time. Because you just dropped a really big Zelda game. If you drop another huge Mario game, I feel like, again, you're cementing the flag that we're not getting a new console anytime soon. So if we're under the agreement that Nintendo Switch, the base Nintendo Switch that we all currently have now, is at the end of its lifespan, I think it'd be more realistic to get a 2D style Mario game similar to new Super Mario Bros. U, but I feel like people are kind of tired of that, so you'd have to add a new kind of spin on it. And I feel like doing things involving more with the 3D aspect of everything, like when you see Sonic Superstars or whatever, and there's like parts where he's like running on walls in the background and he's like going like into the 3D and platforming there, I feel like that would be a good take for them. Keeping the conversation on Sega and just third parties in general, I think Persona 3 Reload is a pretty safe bet to say that we're going to see this on the Nintendo Switch. I feel like Nintendo just wants to be the ones to announce it, just like they did with the original Persona 3 being ported over. I do think besides Sega, besides Atlas, we are going to be seeing some more third-party support. Most notably, I think Square Enix will be dropping an HD 2D version of Dragon Quest 3. They've been talking about it for a while, and I feel like we haven't had our HD 2D game yet this year. So I feel like that would be a good time to kind of drop it, with nothing else really on the horizon for them for the Nintendo Switch. Last but not least, let's not all forget that Metroid Prime Remastered, the remastered alone, practically broke the internet for a cool minute when it was shadow dropped onto the Nintendo Switch earlier this year. I think Metroid Prime 4 is definitely on everyone's mind. I don't think we'd be getting an official trailer. I do think we'll get a teaser of Metroid Prime 4. A little bit more than just the JPEG they showed us last time. I think they'd show us some kind of example of what the actual full game is going to look like. I do think for Metroid Prime, they do drop either a port or remastered of Metroid Prime 2 and 3. Maybe not to the same level of Metroid Prime, the original, but definitely keep that hype going. Keep feeding the fire. People are hungry for Metroid right now. Keep that going. The rumor of Metroid Prime Remastered was a big thing last year that didn't unfortunately happen at the time that Jeff Grubb said it was going to happen. Another rumor that was kind of circulating alongside the Metroid Prime Remastered was a port of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. So I feel like now would be a really good time with everyone on like this whole Zelda hype. I do think, however, though, with Tears of the Kingdom being out, it might kind of cannibalize Wind Waker and Twilight Princess sales. I think right now you want all your Zelda focus on Tears of the Kingdom, so I don't think we'll be seeing Wind Waker or Twilight Princess this year. Probably next year we will see it, but I just don't think right now is the time. Plus, I feel like people are still playing Tears of the Kingdom. It's still selling. There's no reason if they there's tons of other Zelda games. If someone finishes Tears of the Kingdom and wants to play another Zelda game, there's much more on the Switch. So again, I just don't think there's a necessity to drop those games. I do think we will be seeing more GameCube representation. And a lot of people mention things like Fire. Sorry. People mention a lot of things like F-Zero. People mention a lot of things like Paper Mario. I'm cool with any GameCube game, honestly. Whatever you bring me, I'm probably going to be excited for it. So I do think we are going to see some kind of GameCube representation in this Nintendo Direct, though. Anyways, you guys, those are all the things that I feel like are pretty likely to happen. Obviously, this is a prediction, speculation video. Do I believe any of these things are actually going to be true? I mean, who knows? I think I took a pretty safe bet on most of them, though. Overall, I mean, I'm pretty excited for Nintendo Direct. I feel like Xbox, PlayStation, they try to do direct style presentations, and sometimes they hit really well, and sometimes they don't. Nintendo Directs, however, I think are consistently average to amazing. So I think, if nothing else, we're in for a pretty good Nintendo Direct. At best, we're gonna get the most exciting thing ever. I mean, who knows? I think Nintendo Directs are very, very crazy. They're very wild. I mean, last one we got Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. We got Metroid Prime remastered. We got just tons of amazing, really cool games. And Nintendo did say this is a 40-minute presentation. So 40 minutes, they can show off a lot of things in that time. Especially given that most of their trailers are like 2-3 minutes, maybe sometimes even a minute. So I definitely think they're chock full of ideas and games. And I feel like this whole idea of Pikmin being the last game on a Nintendo Switch it's just not accurate. Especially not giving Nintendo. They don't let their player base live a couple months without games. They normally have a game for them practically every month. So I do think we're going to be getting announcements on what we're going to be seeing for, August, September, October, November, probably even something in December. Overall, I'm pretty excited for this Nintendo Direct. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys are excited for anything very specific, what you guys think, sound off in the comment section below. My name is Christian. Remember to like the video if you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.